Just a robot.
About time I did my part 3 video on the whole alt-CC versus neo-CC drama. So a lot went down since my last 2 videos. Nihilistic Snake did a response to my first video on the neo versus alt-CC, and he uploaded his response video less than 24 hours after my video was uploaded. He then took down that video and put up another one, which was pretty much the exact same video, and both the neo-CC and the alt-CC started dogpiling him. Seriously, there has to be like a dozen videos done on each of his responses to me. And honestly, I really feel bad for the guy. Could someone go over there and give him a hug? After Nihilistic Snake got thoroughly gangbanged, the alt-CC and the neo-CC pretty much stopped fighting altogether. But then MDTV uploaded a rant complaining about both the alt and the neo-CC. Doodletones then made a response to that video, and then she disowned the video in 3 hours. 3 hours! Mega Charizard TV's rant was, definitely passionate, if anything.
In fact, I challenge every commentary community member right now. Next year at WrestleMania, all of you guys, in the main event, I will walk in there as a challenger and come out of there as a champion!
For those of you who are wondering what the Neo and the old commentary community are, I already explained it in my part 1 and part 2 videos. Go back and watch those 2 before watching this one. Now, the members of the Neo commentary community strike me as people who just want to make videos for fun. And they're not really in it for the money. But for the ones who are in it for the money, you guys are complete fucking retards.
Now, I want to get somewhere with this channel, okay? I've wanted to do videos as a living for years now, and whether I want to admit it or not, commentaries are just not that huge of an appeal.
That's completely false. Commentaries have a huge appeal. Look at Leafy's here and all the political commentators. The problem is you're a part of the worst commentary community out there. You guys complain about small issues from small YouTubers that no one cares about. Seriously, is there a single member in the commentary community that actually has made a living off of making these videos? It's extremely rare to see someone in the Neo commentary community with 5,000 subscribers. If you join the Neo commentary community to make a living off of making videos, then you joined for the absolute wrong reason.
I can't ignore the fact that the CC just has a pretty negative connotation to it. Like, some people think about it and instantly get disgusted, whether it be because they hate how negative we can be, or they had a run-in with someone they didn't like. But I just want to have more of an appeal, you know?
Ryan, do you really think it's because you guys are negative? Tons of negative channels have gotten popular. Look at reviewers like Nostalgia Critic on his trailers and CinemaSins. They're doing extremely well and they're extremely negative. The problem isn't that you guys are negative. The problem is you guys just suck. Remember my hour-long Pokemon video where I responded to every commentator who made a video on me? Well, guess what? There are a few people who made responses to that video. One by Kermonit on his second channel, whose microphone is so bad I can't understand him.
People who commentated on him were Dirtbag Redden, Fluid, Silver, Nihilistic Snake, David the Savior, and Dan Dragonstar 1989.
One by Joshua, whose speech impediment is so bad I can't understand him.
Some of you might be thinking, you're bringing up old drama. Yeah, but I don't care. Basically, my commentary on Dirtbag Redden could have been better. Anyways, let us dive in.
And there was one by NES Mario, whose video was just unwatchable.
We would entertain that idea until someone makes a video about it, proving it wrong. But no!
Now, later I did find out that NES Mario was a troll, and good God, talk about Poe's Law, I couldn't tell the difference between the actual commentators and the troll. That's just sad. It does confuse me why anyone would want to be a part of the Neo-CC. How would you even pitch this idea? Hey, how's it going? Do you never want to make a living off of YouTube? Do you want to make tiny nitpicks that no one cares about? Do you want to live in constant fear that a giant YouTuber will come out of nowhere and attack you? Do you want a chance to end up on Encyclopedia Dramatica? Well then join the commentary community! Now, a commentator by the name of Ponders did a video on me and Nihilistic Snake. And out of all the videos I have seen done on me by the Neo commentary community, this one was by far the best, which is not saying a lot. Basically, I'm saying it wasn't completely terrible, and she made a few good points. However, she did mess up a lot, so when I go over her video, just know that I did edit a ton of it out.
And lastly, weighing in at everybody is probably really tired of this joke pounds, the snooty with the robo-booty.
God damn it, Cora, you really need to lay off those steroids.
Yes, I'm totally just commentating a jar at this point. Robot!
Just a robot.
Now, I know some of you are probably sick of me talking about this subject. Okay, so because she's responding to a video that uses the same avatar and background as the video I'm doing now, I'm going to temporarily change my background just so you guys don't get confused. I haven't used this one in a while. Seems like a good choice. If you're wondering if I think black borders matter, I actually do. My video looks a lot better like this than if it looked like this.
Weird, it's almost like presentation matters.
I never said it didn't. What I did say was that I care more about the argument than how the video looks or sounds. That's going to be a running theme throughout this video. I'm going to be constantly saying, no I don't, or I never said that. But to make an entire video about one mistake and make a hashtag about it too, just seems a little bit sad to me. Couldn't you just point this mistake out in a comment, or tell Doodle over Skype?
Yep, he could! It's almost like people don't generally make videos exclusively to point this out, and this is a particular situation because nobody else on the CC has done this. Probably made even weirder by the fact that Skihound's apparently in with the alt-CC to bow, but what the fuck ever.
Yeah, but back when he made that mistake, he wasn't. A ton of people in the alt-CC used to be a part of the neo-CC, so of course they have made mistakes in the past. But it doesn't matter, because that's in the past.
Past can't hurt, but the way I see it, you can either run from it, or learn from it. Ah! You see? So what are you going to do?
If he made that mistake in the alt-CC, that would be a completely different story. But even if he did make that mistake while he was in the alt-CC, I still would call him out for it. But like I said before, flipping your shit and making an entire video about one little thing just seems like you're going a bit too far.
As evidenced by this literal one guy doing this.
The problem isn't pointing out black borders in itself. The problem is people complaining about super small issues. Whether it be black borders, complaining about a small sound effect, or complaining about someone fucking breathing.
You could have edited out your fat wheezing ass out of the video. Here, let's play that again. I mean, I think it's sexy when a man's literally wheezing for air in the middle of talking.
Sure, I can personally admit that there is a lot of problems with the CC community. But you know what? You can find problems with any community anywhere.
I really hate it when people say this. Yeah, our community has problems, but so does every other community. You'll never solve any problems with an attitude like that.
Of course not, but I don't know, is separating yourself from that community and creating a lot of in-community drama for no real reason gonna do much else?
I never separated from the Neo commentary community because I was never a part of it. I don't know if you're saying that for sure, but a few people do think I used to be a part of the Neo commentary community. So just to clear things up, yes, I make commentaries, but I was never part of your little community. Now, if you're just talking about the people who used to be a part of the Neo commentary community and left to go join the alt, well, those people were probably going to leave anyways, because they're sick of all the problems in the Neo commentary community. Now they have another group they can join, and now they can point out the problems they have with the Neo commentary community. Yes, it's not a perfect plan, but at least it's something. Also, thanks to the creation of the alt, now the Neo-CC knows that if it's going to go after someone small and gang up on him just because he disagreed with one of the bigger members, the alt-CC will be right there to help that person out. So now the Neo knows that they can't get away with that shit anymore. Boom, there's one mistake fixed. That's one of my favorite things about the alt CC, the diversity of opinions. We do disagree on a lot of things, but one thing we all agree on is that a hive mind mentality is bad.
They've got a hive mind. No, they've got a hive mind. No, it's them.
I didn't say the Neo had a hive mind. I just said that the alt didn't have a hive mind. The alt CC works like a democracy. If one member wants another person to join, we have to vote on it. And if someone wants to leave the group, well, they can just leave. Now, do I feel that the Neo CC has a hive mind? Well, I wouldn't go as far as to call them a hive mind, but they definitely have a follow-the-leader mentality. I think Boonslayer said it best.
But you enforce your exclusivity in a much less honest way. The sense of hierarchy seen in the whole damn thing. I'm not saying that the hierarchy is necessarily intentional, but it's clear that people follow the leader whether that leader wants to be followed or not.
Fuck, you're all a bunch of crying babies. My ovaries can't decide if they want to swell or shrivel.
That's fucking disgusting, but I'm proud of you.
My next question is, how does one join this community? Are there certain requirements like a sub amount, or what type of commentaries you do? Because I've actually been interested in joining myself. Because all I really am is just an artist with a bunch of ideas, but mainly political ideas that seem to contradict the current SJW mentality.
There are a few guidelines, like don't leak private information, but other than that, all you need to do is make commentaries and be a free thinker.
Does anybody else think that it's kind of weird that you have to be accepted into a group like the alt-CC? And how is free thinkers supposed to be defined? I'm sure Nihilistic Snake and Illogical Reaper consider themselves to be free thinkers. You guys gonna let them in?
You do have a fair question. How is free thinker supposed to be defined? Well, to me, a free thinker is someone who's open to the idea that they might be wrong and that they don't blindly follow someone. Nihilistic Snake is not a free thinker because he believes that all anti-SJWs do is call women cunts. Even though the only one that I know of who does that is the Amazing Atheist, and he doesn't call women cunts, he calls feminist cunts, and he doesn't do it really that often. Another good example is T-Moss Boss Productions, who won't watch any videos criticizing him, he will delete any comment he doesn't like, and he believes that all criticism is hate. And a perfect example of someone who's not a free thinker is Anita Sarkeesian, who won't let people comment or rate her videos. That's one thing I do like about the commentary community, the amount of free thinkers it has. A lot of them can admit when they're wrong, and they do the best they can to learn from their mistakes. The only problem is they're a bunch of terrible YouTubers who are taking advice from other terrible YouTubers.
Is there certain rules for this commentator community? Like you don't betray your own member by doing a commentary on that member. Are you supposed to have a certain political standpoint?
It doesn't matter what your political standpoint is. And just because you're a part of the same group as I am, doesn't mean I won't talk about you. For example, Ski Hound is a part of the alt-CC, but I still talked about him.
Weird! What a novel concept! Can't imagine another community that does commentaries who might do the same thing.
That's awesome, I never said they didn't. This is kind of like working in a fast food place and a guy walks in and says, "Hey, do you sell deep-fried gears?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we do." And then a guy from another fast food store yells out, "Oh, what a novel concept! I can't think of another store that sells deep-fried gears." I will now be talking about, Yankee Doodle Dandy Tones. A common criticism I do hear about the alt-CC is we talk about Doodletones too much, and I somewhat agree. But the thing is, Doodletones is one of the most popular members in the Neo-CC. She's pretty much the face of the Neo-CC at this point.
Yeah, okay, if you say so.
When people think of your group, the first person that pops into their head is Doodletones. Just like when people think of Channel Awesome, the first person to pop into their head is Nostalgia Critic. And if Doodletones is not the first person to pop into your head, then who is it? Rion, who hasn't made a commentary in forever? Dirtbike Redden, who hasn't made a commentary in forever? Or is it Youngblood, who hasn't made a commentary in forever?
The fact that people legitimately believe that Doodletones had some kind of a diaper fetish is so monumentally stupid that it's almost not even worth talking about, but this is the guide to surviving the internet, and we cover internet history, so we have to talk about it. Needless to say, everybody ran with it, and it earned her the embarrassing nickname Doodle Diapers. And no, I don't know who came up with that. It was either Jesus with Bazooka 79 Lives or some other stupid troll, I don't know.
It's pretty obvious that Mr. Medicare came up with the name, and he did have a reason for it.
Mental illness? What? What could possibly have made your grandmother think you have a mental illness? Oh, maybe is it that? ABDL, Adult Baby Diaper Lover Role-Playing Group? Doodletones, or should I call you by your proper name? Doodle Diapers. Doodle Diapers, do you get off on shitting yourself?
Oh no's! Alleged controversies surrounding someone that in no way affect anybody else, nor do they affect the quality of her content. The very horror!
Sweetie, you might want to keep watching the video, because my problem isn't that she has a diaper fetish. Now, does Doodletones have a diaper fetish? The answer is, I don't know, and I don't care. If she does or does not, I wouldn't think any more or less of her.
Which is why it's so necessary to bring it up.
Literally, the next part explains this. What I do have a problem with are the people saying, "Oh, what do you mean Doodle has a diaper fetish? Oh, where did you get that from?"
I'm kinda sick of the bitchware meme at this point.
Are you serious? Right here.
The fact that people legitimately believe that Doodletones had some kind of a diaper fetish is so monumentally stupid that it's almost not even worth talking about. But this is the guy surviving the internet, and we cover internet history, so we have to talk about it. Needless to say, everybody ran with it, and it earned her the embarrassing nickname Doodle Diapers. And no, I don't know who came up with that. It was either Jesus with Bazooka 79 Lives or some other stupid troll, I don't know.
This was in the fucking video. How the fuck did you miss it? You even put this clip in your video. My argument had a beginning, middle, and end. I explained everything. I showed a guy denying that there's any evidence that Doodletones has a diaper fetish. I showed evidence that she does have a diaper fetish, and I even explained that her having a diaper fetish is not the problem. I don't fucking care. I have a maid fetish. My problem is that people deny evidence, and it's right in front of your face, and you're still ignoring it. If you want more proof, here you go.
Where Doodletones fetish, fetish was revealed, and then that caused an entire thing. And now every time
I'm gonna have to stop you right there. It wasn't her fetish. It was people slapping something onto her to get a rise out of her.
Okay, it's time to go back to my old background. Most of them use an avatar from an anime, cartoon, or video game, and they usually change their avatar a lot, like every video. In fact, sometimes they change their avatar during the video.
Match up with the theme, I'm going to be using Sans as my avatar, so let's get right into this today on DHT.
Okay, first of all, that whole Dylan changing avatars in the middle of a video thing. Yeah, he did that when he was a part of the neoc. Doesn't really count. As for the whole anime avatar thing, that wasn't a complaint. That was just me describing what your group was like. Now granted, I would prefer it if you guys used PNGs a lot more often, and also didn't use a whole bunch of avatars at once. But really, all of that is just a subjective opinion, and it really wouldn't improve the group at all. Now, Ponders did talk about me a little in another video, but I really don't have time for it. Don't get me wrong, I could cover it, but that might make my video over an hour long, which I know you commentators really hate. Even though you guys have made videos that are over an hour long, but it's different when I do it for some reason. And I also want to cover Megaduck TV, not just Ponder.
And I'm not talking about just the neoc. If you guys are thinking I'm an alt-CC fanboy, the alt-CC is just as bad, to be honest, but I'm going to talk about that when the time comes.
I really hate it when Megaduck TV does this. The alt-CC is just as bad as the neoc. Anti-SJWs are just as bad as SJWs. Doodletones and Jar are just as bad as one another. And yes, he's going to say that later in the video.
But after all, that's just my opinion. I know some people are going to be like, oh, well, Megaduck TV, just because it's your opinion, that does not mean we should not criticize it, implying that I never said that. When I say that it's my opinion, I'm pretty much stating that, yeah, this is what I believe. Do not fucking lose your shit just because I have a different fucking opinion than you.
This, I can actually get behind. Good job, Mega Man TV. This is something I've noticed from the neoc, and it's just fucking stupid.
Just a robot, and other YouTuber, Dylan Thomas and a few others, Skitty Hound being one of them, they decided to make their own little commentary community away from the main one, and they dubbed it the Neo-CC versus the Alt-CC. They are the Alt-CC, then there's the Neo-CC. Their idea was to reform the commentary community. Yeah, that's great and all, but, here, let me ask this question. Is splitting away from the main goddamn community really gonna help reform the community?
Megadolan, not everybody is in the Alt-CC to reform the commentary community. The main reason why I joined was to test out what being in a group was like. And I gotta say, it has its ups and downs. But I don't think it's the right group for me. I'm gonna stay in it for a little bit longer, but eventually I'll leave it.
You see the title of the video, a rant on Jar and Doodletones. So yes, what Jar is doing to me is fucking dumb. I don't understand this whole thing. I do not understand this whole fanboy mentality, like, the fanboy mentality that Jar claims to hate so much that his own group also has. This is not something that is exclusive to Neo-CC. This is something that's exclusive to both the Alt-CC and the Neo-CC. There's this huge level of fanboy mentality of, oh yeah, it's a circle jerk. It's just a circle jerk. It's like, oh yeah, I do something right, we are the right and they are the wrong.
Oh, but you're not like that at all. Oh, and by the way, I didn't like the Neo-CC even before I was in it. And if the Alt-CC crumbles, I really wouldn't give a shit.
So no, I'm not trying to say that Jar is any better because he's just as bad.
Oh, and by the way, this is all he says about me. For the rest of the video, he just talks about Yankee Doodle Danny Tones. It almost feels like you put my name in the title just to get a little bit of clickbait. Oh, look at me, I'm totally full of myself. I'm not nearly that popular. If you want to know why MDTV is ranting on Doodletones, well, you see, a bunch of people from the Neo-CC and the Alt-CC got together to do a stream about Doodletones. Doodletones did not take it very well, and said that some of the people in the stream were emotions away from being sociopaths.
You are emotions away from being sociopaths.
She also said that anyone who responded to her video was proving her point.
Even if you argue this whole video point by point and are somehow correct, you will inherently miss the overall point I'm trying to make. The overall point of this video.
Which understandably pissed a lot of people off, including her own fanbase. But enough talk about that, let's get back to MDTV's video.
In fact, I challenge every commentary community member right now, next year at WrestleMania, all of you guys, in the main event, I will walk in there as a challenger and come out of there as a champion!
I'm sure he thinks he's being inspiring, but this comes across as just really silly and kind of egotistical.
Nothing can stop me. I am the best. I am different from everybody else. And I am the ultimate fucking ranter.
Yeah, I'm fucking better than you.
Okay, now it's kind of just cringy. Okay, I got one more video from MDTV to cover. Let's do this thing.
But upon doing further investigation, I found that the Alt-CC is much, much worse than the Neo-CC. Now, let me make myself a little bit clear. While I do have legitimate problems with the Neo-CC, I feel as if the Alt-CC is much worse, and I will go over the reasons why along with several examples why. The main reason why they are much worse than the Neo-CC is the fact that they are the only ones at this point trying to drag out this drama longer than they should.
Yes, but Megadup, couldn't someone argue that Ponder's videos and your video are also bringing up drama?
Probably the best example I could think of this is the Alt-CC's newest video on their main channel, to where it's a response to Nihilistic Snake on something that isn't even about the commentary community. It's mostly about anti-SJW nonsense. But anyway, these guys pretty much made a video generalizing all of the Neo-CC and be like, a message to the Neo-CC, learn from Nihilistic Snake's mistakes.
Honestly, I do agree with MDTV here. I thought that was really stupid on the Alt-CC's part. You can't really use Nihilistic Snake as an example for anything. He's pretty much the third most hated person in the Neo-CC. Something like Mr. Medicare going after Doodletones is a much better example.
One of the things that made me hate the LCC much more than the NeoCC is how they reacted to my criticisms of their pathetic group. And I'm going to be using an example. I'm going to be using one example here, one member, but this is a prominent member of the LCC, so as far as I'm concerned, my example is actually valid. Dylan Thomas recently made a very crappy response to Ponder Sprocket.
Yeah, but Megadup, Doodletones also made a crappy response video to you. Oh wait, I forgot, she disowned the video, so it doesn't count. Well, if disowning your video means you can't be criticized, then I disown this video. There, now no one can do a response to me, apparently.
I even sent a response, well, not a response, I even sent a challenge to Dylan, a message to Dylan, basically asking him for an actual civil debate on my stream, so we can have a debate on whether or not the alt-CC is any better, and he never responded.
Okay, Megadup TV, I'm gonna take your word for this. So you challenged Dylan, and he chickened out. But do you know what would have been much worse? If he was the one who challenged you, also asked if he could bring friends to the debate, set up a place, time, and everything, and still chickened out. Imagine if someone did that. Oh wait, we don't need to, because someone from the NeoCC already did that.
All the comments on Twitter and in the comment section of YouTube videos. We've decided to fuck off, Mang. Have a nice day. This is within 24 hours of agreeing to all his demands, giving him the time he wanted, allowing him to bring people with him, and he decides not to do it. Alright, so here's my official answer. I'm bitching out. You've defeated Mighty 4chan Man.
But the alt-CC is still much worse than the NeoCC.
For those of you who are unaware, many alt-CC members got onto my stream and started spamming a lot of useless nonsense. Basically to the point where I actually got salty in said stream, and I do not mind admitting that I got salty. For those of you who don't know, I have a very strict no spam policy on my stream. You can say whatever you want, I don't care how you say it, doesn't matter, but you cannot go on my stream and start spamming a lot of stuff. That is against the rules as far as I'm concerned.
Here's some friendly advice. Making rules for how people are supposed to act on your stream only makes people want to break those rules. You're basically saying, please, oh please, troll me.
And yes, I get it. I was trolled. And when I called them out on it, they were basically like, ha ha, Megadupe, we trolled you. I was trolled.
Okay, they trolled you. I'm so confused. I really don't know what to say about this. Good for you, you were trolled, I guess?
Like, either A, I ignore the problem altogether and say, oh, well, they're spamming, it's clearly bothering other people on the stream, but, you know, I'll leave it alone. Basically be a dick to people who are actually there on my stream to talk and shit. Or I can easily go ahead and call them out and be labeled as somebody who got troll baited and somebody who's salty about the whole thing. I guess I'm salty. Seriously, this just goes to show the mentality that some of these retards have.
So the alt-CC is worse because they trolled you a little? Again, I have to take your word for this because you're not presenting any proof. But you do know that the NeoCC to this day are still leaving comments on my 2 Pokemon drama videos, right? I'm not saying I'm bothered by it, I'm just saying you can also apply these things to the NeoCC very easily.
But anyways, I'm gonna actually have to ask this legitimate question to this group of free thinkers. If you guys are a group of free thinkers, can I join your group? I made commentaries, and I'm a free thinker clearly because I criticize the alt-CC, I criticize whatever the hell I want to criticize, and I have no bias. So, can I join your group? I mean, you guys are a group of free thinkers, so you guys would have no issues if I joined your group, right? Yeah, watch them answer yes to that question, which will never happen, by the way.
After Megadup said that, I decided to comment that, yes, he could join. One thing a lot of people know about me is I almost never comment, and you're about to learn why. He told me that one of the members doesn't want him in. I explained to him that the alt-CC works like a democracy and we can have a vote. If one member says you can't join, that doesn't mean you can't join. A majority of people have to say you can't join in order for you not to join. He then says he does not want to join the alt-CC and that he's just trying to make a point that the alt-CC would never let a critic of their group in. So to prove that wrong, I'm going to criticize the alt-CC right now. The Bearing vs. Nihilistic Snake video was stupid. You guys focus on the neoc too much. You do understand that the ranty community exists, right? Go after those guys for a change. Dylan and Doodle, just fuck already. Everyone can clearly see it. And if you're shy to go on a date with one another, tell you what, we can make it a double date. I'll go along with Dylan, and Doodle you can bring Doodlebot. Or maybe it could just be me and Doodlebot. That's good too. I then ask Megadup, what happened to you, man? You used to be cool. And here's where things took a turn for the worse.
If by cool you mean blindly agreeing with your viewpoints as if they are fact, without actually thinking about said viewpoints, then yeah, I was cool. Give me a fucking break.
Megadup, I'm just a robot, not just a straw man. I tried to ask him what he meant by that, and he avoided my question for a little bit, but he did kind of answer it.
I was blindly agreeing with your viewpoints because I had the mentality that if Jar said it, it must be true.
Megadup, I don't have psychic powers. How was I supposed to know you have this mentality? But maybe he left some subtle hints for me throughout his videos. Like in his video defending me from T-Moss Boss Productions, where he described my videos as just okay.
Let me just say this right now. My thoughts on Jar's videos is that they're okay.
I mean, if that's not a fanboy, I don't know what is. Or that time he said Doodletones owned me after she did her first video on me, which she later disowned. Or that time he agreed with Dirtbike Redden when he did a video on me, which he later disowned. Goddamn Megadup TV, this is a pretty lame-ass straw man. I then realized that this whole conversation was pointless. I said I would talk about this in my part 3 video, which he found funny for some reason. And then he proceeded to get super salty. Megadup, what I mean by you're getting worse and worse. When I first discovered you, I saw your video on Becky Boop, and it was even better than my video, and you did a pretty damn good job defending me from T-Moss Boss Productions. But over time you just got worse and worse. Even when you're quote-unquote agreeing with me, like when you defended me from Nihilistic Snake. Holy fuck, that was a terrible video. And I know you're gonna say, well, I did it live and unscripted or whatever. Well, guess what? A shit video is still a shit video. And let's not forget about your god-awful rant on the anti-SJWs. And yes, I'm going to be covering that video next. Megadup, when I look at you and a lot of the other members of the commentary community, I see great YouTubers who just got held back by such a terrible community. A lot of you guys make pretty damn good videos, but you joined such a toxic community. A lot of the things I've said about the commentary community is subjective, but it doesn't change the fact that when people see the commentary community, they just see a bunch of people who can't make videos who complain about the way other people make videos. I'm not saying you should join the alt-CC. I just think you guys should get rid of this group mentality and go do your own thing. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you shouldn't have a community, but your community is like a small town. If one person does something, everyone knows about it. And the smaller members follow the big members, even though the bigger members are really not people you should follow. Let me give you an example. People like Sargon of Akkad and Leafy is Here are like the rock stars of the commentary community. And they're people you should inspire to be like. But the heads of the neo-commentary community are like dudes playing banjos in the forest. In other words, it's something you should not inspire to be. My eyes have seen the glory of the cleansing of YouTube, debunking SJWs and feminazis too. We criticize reactionists in hopes they get the boot. Just the robot marches on.